Okay, well, it's clear I'm going to make mistakes no matter what, so no reason to think too hard here. Where might I want to drop a base? That's hard to tell. That's always the difficult decision. So I'm going to put around, I'll stay where I am. Because I'm going to drop this here. If I can get a base here, that closes it out and grabs me a nice location. And my band moves there, which opens up this to someone else. Who is that someone else? Well, if red moved in here and did it, they'd be facing, there's 2 level 1 bases. I could grab something interesting by doing this. So let's do that because we haven't seen it. I'm building a level 2 base there. Now what's cool about that is, since there's a tie for level 1 bases, and I'm the only person with a level 2 base, I win. Let's roll my dice, see what my advantage is. I get a card play. Joy. I really would like to get a thing. Did I just get one here? No, not with a base. It's only colonies that count, but I will be getting a chance at it. Do I want to jump my flagship somewhere? See, if I jump it here, blue will just build in there. I'm not going to get any big advantage off that. Uh-oh, this is open. There's no place where you want to jump your flagship is where you have 2 places where you could hit. So like, you know, if I could play between these 2 and put my flagship there, blue couldn't react to both of them. Of course, other people could, but that's besides the point. So I don't want to do either of these cards, and I'll just draw another. Now when the deck runs out, you either have to play or ignore. Now what happens is I get to seize what I like here, because I just filled this in, and I'll take this big valuable 7. I have a red occupation. I'm at 2 reds. I don't know if anybody's got that many. Yellow's at 2 as well, so I'm not going to gain anything from that. We go on to yellow. Yellow has no big base expansions that they can make. Point-wise expansion, there's a 3 there. That's kind of appealing. I'm a little worried about my pale blues, but I don't have a way in there yet. Where do I want to put my ship? I got to decide my ship before I do anything else. We'll just... You never know where you're going to need it, so you kind of boot them around. I'll drop this in here. That gives me another green. I'm pretty strong on green already. It's not really what I'm hoping for because I have a lot of military bases, but who knows where it ends up. And my band goes in there. And now we go to the green player, who doesn't see any immediate opportunities. Long-term planning's tough in this. My ability of the hive means I want to cluster my own people. Clustering your own people is kind of hard. Did that in the wrong order. Oh, this is tempting actually. We'll go this way. And I get the next player's band, that's the blue band over here. With a new set going around, I am guessing that this is what blue wants to do. Slide into here, drop themselves a base, and that will convert this, but only after the die roll. Next player's band, the red band, will be coming here. That didn't gain me anything. If red had had humans, I have to worry about it. Don't know how that opened up. Maybe a band moved or something. Hard to tell. What about red? Well, red's got another one in danger, so I'm going to want to build my colony there. Given forgetfulness issues, I'm going to sail out this way. See if I can hose blue over. Oh! No, I can't build there because now there's a blue military base next to me, and that'll fall. And yes, the bands are particularly annoying in terms of obscuring the board. It would be kind of nice if they were translucent discs or something over the pieces. Okay, so I don't know if I can save my piece easily. I can't build a military base anywhere next to it, which would be the requirement because I'm too far away. I have this wormhole that could help, but not in time. Oh boy. Yeah. I guess I just got shafted again. I'm gonna shift into here. And see what we got there. That's a yellow band going into wherever I just went, and I can't remember because I went to shut the door. I think it was this one. I'm in more green areas now, I guess. I don't know. Three. I think I'm okay. Alright, so on to the yellow player. Yellow player has no great opportunity coming. Could always make that threat. If I think blue's doing well, and they're not doing poorly, I can force them to make a play here to prevent something. Of course, I can do worse than that. I could build a base here so they can no longer safely play here, except by getting a base. That's an even more appealing position. I'm going to do that. We'll see what that turns out as. It's a different kind of strategy, but with the Wargers, I've got 15 points for most bases. I'm certainly not going to have the least bases, I think. And I get a card play out of it. Place a colony on any loyalty pledge. That token will add to my loyalty. I'm beginning to feel like the Wargers are important to my victory here. On the other hand, maybe more important than the crystals are. So I'm not sitting on a lot of 1-point spaces. I'm beginning to wonder if I own the Wargers anymore. See, I got 2. And red has 1, 2. I guess I still do. So yeah, I'm going to throw an alien embassy over on them. And that eats up another one of my colonies. But that's okay, because these things are potentially very valuable. Alright, now this would get resolved, but it's a military base, so because it's filled up, so there's no chance of conquering colonies. Now we go to green, and green says, ooh, look what is open over here. No. That's not very open. There's a yellow base, a double red, and a blue. The single level bases would cancel out. Red would get control if I built there. I could, of course, build a base there, but that doesn't do me any good. So that's not an opportunity that's open to me. Are there other places that I need to play? Well, See, there's a base open here. There's so many things open and so many different decisions to kind of work on at the same time. I also have to consider my hive. I've got 3 hives. Nobody else seems to have very many. So that's kind of appealing. There's one there. All right, well, I probably ought to expand my territory, and I'm not sure what to do with my ship. I'll just drift it this way. Expand here. Now that's making this vulnerable again. That's one of the things when you start filling things up, you open the world up to a risk. And my own ban will go there. Okay, interesting opportunity situation here. Now, blue. If they moved into here, or put a base there or something, not a base, but a colony, they would gain nothing. Because yellow has a base next to it, as do they, and red has a double base. However, over here, I can put a colony and gain this red base. That's appealing. Now, where do I want to start shifting my ship to get bases? I don't know. But grabbing what I can seems like a good idea, while I can. Although I will be knocking someone out of there, taking points away. You see, I get an extra 2 points. Well, those are all red, so it's not really an issue. Okay, my ban is going to go in here. And now I get to steal a blue token there. But as red noted, or as was noted, red has the victory if he goes in here. That seems appealing. I don't see anything else that he can expand to and get that kind of victory off of. At least not at this point. That's, no, blue has given this space up, though, because yellow can move in and take that. So crappies, you know, get greedy one place. Try to optimize your own position. We'll sail over here. These are, as I said, somewhat at random. Just because you can't judge everything that's going to happen. You're just trying to position yourself where interesting stuff might happen. That's a yellow ban, which goes here, and I can steal a yellow piece. Now the force field can protect our planet for a round, but it's just one round. So if blue had gotten a card draw, they could have protected this one if they had a force field in hand, which I don't think they do. Now we're on to yellow, and you know, it's tough because I got to keep an eye on, hey, am I going to lose anything like I just did? Or do I just want to do this? Actually, I don't even need, yeah, I do need my ship there because I don't have a colony next to this. I'll put this here. That's going to trigger the conquest rules. I get a card play. I haven't been paying too much attention to what's just changed. So somebody got knocked out of a green, and wow, that's the other thing. I've got to pay attention to all these stupid things at the same time. There's just too much in a multiplayer game to pay attention to. So I'll make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be as soon as I finish this. Of course, that'll dig me a little deeper into my hole. I've got a wormhole that I could jump somewhere. Is there somewhere I really want to jump to? I don't know. And I've got a force field where I could protect a planet if I had something in danger, but it's hard to tell what's in danger. Okay, I'll draw a card, because that'll give me more cards towards the end of the game. Right? I don't know. You know, I may not get to play them all. Now we resolve this, and blue gets booted out of here because I have a base, and I go in. And now we're going to be on the green turn, but I got to recalculate all these different races, make sure they make sense. So blue has the humanoids, and that seems correct. Yellow has the Waragers. They have 1, 2, And that's +3 for their on there. That's probably sufficient. It looks like there's only 2 in opposition maximum. They have these supplenties. Now I have, wait, 1. Green and red have 1. Yellow has 2. Red has 2. Red has it with 3. I don't know, they must have knocked out a yellow one there. They've just gotten this, which means they want to have less military bases than everyone else. Yeah, that's going to be a hard thing to kind of manage. But everybody is building bases, and I think I may only have this one. It's worth a lot of points if you have the least. Okay, let's look at the crystalloids or whatever. So green has 1, 2 of these, plus 1 on here is 3. I have 1, 2, plus 1 is 3. And blue has 1, and red has 2. And I think that's it there. And then over to the hive, let's make sure that's still green, but I don't think anything's moved there. I have 3 hives, there's only 1 in someone else's hands. Great. So I think we're okay now. We did have a change of hand in the middle of there. All right, on to the green player. And now after that, of course, I'm so, befuddled by all this counting that it's hard to come up with anything like a strategy at this point. I don't see anywhere where I really have an advantage coming to me. I want to look around here. Can I grow something there? I could start building this up, and that might get me a 9 there. That would be appealing. Is my ship useful? Okay, here's a danger. I could lose that if I'm not careful. So that may be a better place, and that helps my hive to fill that out at this point. So where do I want to send my ship? I don't know. Let's send him off this way. All right, I'm going to fill that out. That causes a military effect, but there aren't any bases nearby. And we get a blue band here. All right. I really want to hold on to the hive because I'm getting these conglomerate cities, and a 4-colony sector. If I have 4 colonies in a sector, I get 9 extra points from that. That's very rich. It's hard to tell who's doing well. When you start seeing stuff like that, those points coming over, the 15 for the wargers, and the limited points that the crystalloids might have seem pretty minor. Over with the humanoids, well, for the most part, blue is sitting in places with 1 or 2 other players. Now, those can bring some points in, but that hive is beginning to look scary with the way green's using it. All right. Okay, let's try to push a little further here. Blue is worried, of course, about, as I'm starting to get more and more into the flow of this, about where they might get hosed, and there aren't any clear examples of that unless there's something hidden here. Or under one of these other big blocks of wood for some reason chosen. So now then it comes to, well, where do you want to expand and where might you want bases in the future? It's hard to tell where I'd want bases in the future, but an expansion into here with a base would be nice. I'll move there. Red's probably going to react to that. Where to go? Well, with the humanoids, I want to get into other people's areas still. You know what's tempting, actually, is instead of doing this, moving here and dropping a base into here, because there are a couple of, yes, they're low value, but a couple of places in position that might be of some worth. Do I want to put it in the 1 or the 2? I'm going to put it in the 2 because it's unlikely I'll be placing a colony in the 1 space there. That's more likely somebody else's job. So, well, there you have it. Now I get to roll my die. And my band moves here. On to red. Now red's threatened in 2 places. kind of painfully so. No way I can react. I can't move up there in order to get a base into play yet. If I fill either of these, that does the bad thing right away. So I don't have a real defense. I can perhaps rely upon one of my wormholes to get me into the general location where I can block this. That might be of some value. But if I can't get there, where do I want to be? I don't know. I'll head down this way because I don't have any possessions down this way. That seems kind of counterintuitive, but I don't think I can defend my possessions easily. And as to spreading, if I spread here, I'll lose it. Of course, that may not be so terrible. But spreading here seems kind of nice. That gets me another red. God knows, now I have to start counting. What did blue take? Shit. God, I hate this aspect of it. Blue didn't take anything. Okay, so red, if I place in a red zone, means I have 1, 2, 3 red zones. Yellow has 1, 2, 3. That'll put me in the tie there. Doesn't give me anything. Here, if I place here, I get a red zone, or I get a blue zone, and that'll only put me to 2 of those. I'm not really in a position for those, but that puts a threat on this, which I'm likely to win. So that's kind of appealing. So I'll go in there. We'll roll the die and see what the effect is. The effect is a yellow band there, wherever I just placed. Okay. So now yellow looks at their world. Oh, jeez. If I placed in here, I wouldn't get anything even if the band wasn't there. I don't really want to continue growing this because that'll make my big 9 there at risk. Do I have any cards like wormholes that'll get me anywhere? I have a force field and a wormhole, so I might get lucky with a card play and be able to get into that area. Which means I'll go, God, I don't know. I'll head down this way because it's more interesting. And as to expansion, this is a safe expansion because I've got a base there. So I'll do that. That triggers a conquest phase, but there's no issue there. And for my play, I get a card play. Now I want it to do something. I either want it to throw a force field. That didn't seem too appealing. What I'm going to do instead is the wormhole and jump myself over here. There's a lot of opportunities for moving there. Now green. Green can fill this and probably be okay. Let me make sure I understand. Conquest has to go to the most valuable colony. So if I place here, I'm not going to lose something, but I still gain, and that's kind of appealing. What with my... Yep, I just gained a red. Okay, that's fair. What with my hive? How safe is my hive? It's pretty good. I feel pretty solid about hive. So... I don't need to protect anything. I could sleaze into a 3 here. That looks even better. In terms of total value, I don't know what to do with my ship. I'll just move it. Drop this in here. And I get my band there. Which now opens this up where I would have liked to have placed to prevent myself from possibly losing that 9. All right, let's do another one real quick. Doing 2 of them should be easier, right? I should remember what I'm doing. Well, maybe, maybe not. Blues here, I'm going to want to go in there. I've got my base here. I'm going to start shifting towards the center of the board. I'll drop this here. I'm not going to get a lot. I'm just going to get a 3 there. Why don't I go here instead? That's even more pleasant. My ban will be moving there. And now we get to assess this, and red loses their territory. And you can see the die and the fact that it moves the ban and this, that, and the other, that can change things significantly. I was focusing on these guys. I didn't notice that that was going to fall. I don't know if I could have done anything about it, though. Not without a wormhole or something. So, at this point, bases are actually more important than just about anything else, and this base looks really tasty here. So I'm going to throw that into place because that dominates this space. Make my roll. And I get a card play. My card play, I have, well, Rebellion. I need a loyalty pledge. That could only be a green area. I'm worried about my wormhole, or worried about using that wormhole to get into play where I can cope with these and protect them. Yes, they're not terribly valuable, but that's what I got right now. And that puts us over to yellow again. Yellow looks at its territories. Can't tell with all these big pieces what's going on, whether or not, you know, for example, this will fall. There's a lot of 1s. There's only one level 2. I'll lose something important to red once that moves. There's not a lot I can do except build another base. And there is no open space except here that I could build it. This is somewhat appealing. Is it worth fighting for, though? Because I won't lose this if I tie. But is there anything I'll gain? Gives me some power over this. And some potential power over these guys. Although how much value that is up to doubt. Alternatively, is there anywhere else I'd want to play? I do like the idea of building more bases because I have this 15-point bonus to do so. So, I don't see any big point scores coming. This is sort of a shift in the game has happened where bases are becoming, and military power is becoming more valuable in a lot of ways than just expanding and getting a point or 2. There are places that I could get a couple points, though. You know, an expansion into one of these, but bases come into play because those are the highest valued locations there. An expansion into something like this is safe. I could get a 3-point expansion there. That's probably the best location left on the board. But I think this may do me better in the long run. We'll see. I don't know what's here. No bases there. So this 1 is canceled out here, but that doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not helping me too much. But I could put a yellow base in here that would complete this. A single base here cancels that single base out, and then I'd get the 9. So I'm putting pressure on that location in a fairly significant way. Red is going to want to grow there, but they can't. They aren't adjacent to it. And no one else has any real desire to grow that. So on to green. And I don't know what I got under here. Green's looking for their bases. I don't know what's under here. I got a base here. Can that do me any good? It could eventually here. Without a 2-point base to cancel this sucker out, well, that's not too important. I got a problem here, but I can't get there, where I'm going to lose this 7-point space if I don't do something. So let's start moving in that direction, I guess. I'm not thrilled with this. And where do I put my additional piece? I'd like to put it here, but I can't. If I put it here, someone can still base and steal my 1 point. Of course, a 1-point space isn't terribly important to anyone. But I can put it... Oh, no, there's a band there. I can put it here. And I'd get to keep a 1-point space. Woo! Why am I heading this way again? Oh, to protect this. Yeah, that's of some importance. But I don't care about these, so I'll expand into here. That triggers blue's conditions. Let me roll my die first. I get my band there, but blue gets to steal a red piece there. Now that's just changed the dynamics of the red, but not significantly. It's not going to affect yellow's the one who has to lose there. That was green's turn. That means it'll be blue's turn now. Okay, so it's blue's turn, and they're set up with an attack, essentially, into this space. They'll only get a 3-pointer out of it, but it's worthwhile. Now, one of the problems is because you are limited by counter mix. Well, there's significantly more here. I thought I was down to those. Taking these low value ones can be not a positive move. That comes out more in the 2-player game than it does in this big 4-player game. So what I'm going to do is slam into here. That'll get me that. Now, here's the question. Where is my ship going before I choose to do that? I'd like to get into a position where I can do some base trickery somewhere. This side of the board is beginning to look pretty much claimed already. I've got my base here for this. When this clears up, no, this has already been resolved. So I'm going to head downward in this general direction, see what's going on. Place this here. It's hard to talk with the pipe in my mouth, so my own band will shift over here, but in the process, red is going to lose a big 3-pointer. Okay, maybe not so big. On red's side, what they want to look at is what they can influence, possibly with military action. So for example, if they could get in here, they could do something. They were too slow here. That's their own fault. Placing something into here doesn't do them any good at this point. So they kind of wasted their move. And that's just a matter of not thinking clearly enough. Do I want a base down here? Nah, I think everything's pretty much called there. So I'll move my ship here. And I need to start spreading. This doesn't get me any additional space. I'm having trouble finding a place I can go to, actually. And go in here, I'll lose this and it'll become green. That may not necessarily be a terrible thing, but I don't know if it's worth my playing for. Going here, at least I get to keep something, because I'm having a hard time finding anywhere that I can build a piece. Now, if I had shifted into here, I could play for one of those, but that 2-point one's probably going to fall. Well, maybe not. I'm looking and seeing these are all 1-point bases, and I don't think anybody's going to fight too hard for them. So maybe my best move is to go into here instead and drop this. And we're really getting to the You know, once you start seeing people grabbing 2-pointers using their ship, a hard part of the game, as it were. And that'll be my ban. Now, let's see what happened here in terms of ownership, because I have 2 hives. Green has 3, so that's not going to change anything. Over to the yellow side. Yellow's got a lot of base power. If I can inject into here, I don't get this, because unless I build a base there. So I'll shift here. I'll drop my base, and that'll get me that. And that's going to change not the hive situation, but, and my ban will follow. But I get, what, a big 9. So you can see those initial high-valued placements, you're not necessarily able to hold them. They seem like a great play early on, but you've got to do something to defend them, I guess. And now for green. Green's got a 9 that they can grab from yellow. Yellow couldn't really do anything about this. I want to shift my ship down, though, before I do that, and I want to make sure to take this. And we'll roll the die to see what happens before we... And that'll be the green band going in here. And this will be a green dot. I'm going to load this one up, keep these moderately short, just so that somebody can watch a whole one and then say, yeah, I don't think I'll watch any of the others. I